Hello and welcome to another edition of Liore Steam Backlog. I am Liore and this is Puzzle Dimension, a 3D puzzler that is supposed to, quote, train your spatial visualization ability, which is a nice way of saying it's 3D. And this is by the Swedish developer Dr. Entertainment. I actually did not know yet again that I own this game, which is starting to get a little embarrassing, but after a little research, I think it was in a Steam indie puzzle bundle from last year. Ostensibly, the purpose of each level is to collect the required number of sunflowers, which you can see in the top right corner, which will open up the dimensional gate to the next level. Of course, that is not as easy as it sounds. In this first level, for example, we have tiles that will break if you roll on them, like we can see right there. So there is some jumping. You move using the arrow keys, you jump using the space key, and you can move your camera around using the shift arrow key. You can also move your camera around using the mouse, but I don't recommend it. It seems really imprecise. And here we are on level 2, which is slightly more complicated than level 1 because we've got 2 breakable tiles in a row, and the ball can only jump over 1 tile at a time, so we have to do a little bit. Now we're off to level number 3, which I'm going to make look relatively easy, but it actually took me a while. Thank God for video editing, because it took me a while to look like I sort of know what I'm doing. As you can see, this puzzle is more complicated yet again because we have 3 breakable tiles in a row and we have 1 in the middle, which means we need to plan ahead. Fortunately, there are no time limits for any of the levels. There are 100 different levels in Puzzle Dimension, and none of them have a time limit, which means you can take your time and plan ahead, which is great. The controls are really nice and precise. Oh, let's pretend I did that just to show you what it's like to fail. So, you're welcome. We'll get back through this again. As I was saying, aside from user error, the controls are really nice and precise. The ball lands with a really satisfying thud. When you're moving 1 tile at a time, it's quite precise with how it moves, which is important in a game like this where 1 false move will cause you to plummet into infinity. I also really like the sort of the tiles breaking as you hit new tiles. It just kind of adds a sense of action. So I want to show you a couple of the later tutorial levels now, so you get a sense of some of the wacky 3D level design that I am not good enough to get to in this example. So here's a rather Escher-esque structure. As you can see, the camera moves with the ball, which will break your brain at moments. My one complaint about this game is the fact that the camera, I mean, you can move it. It's not great though, so there are moments where you really can't see what's over that next hill and you don't know if it's going to be a flower, is it going to be imminent death, you just don't know. If that could be a little more precise, I think that would be easier. So let's do 1 more of the tutorial levels. And again, you can imagine in later levels you have this and you combine it with the breakable blocks, and apparently there's invisible blocks, and woo, yeah. So there we go. That is a look at Puzzle Dimension by Dr. Entertainment. You should be able to find this cheap on Steam. It's also available on PS3 and I believe for your phone, although trying to navigate this game on your phone sounds like a UI nightmare, but hey, what do I know? If you like 3D spatial awareness puzzles, this is probably a pretty good deal. It seems very well made, very solid, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So that is another episode of Liore's Steam Backlog. Only 107 more games to go. Thanks for watching.